Welcome, everyone, to the Paperclip half-mile racetrack here in Martinsville, Virginia. Historic in every sense of the word. 4 races to go in the Winstel Cup Series season. And it gets a little tight here around Martinsville Speedway. Welcome, everyone, to Winstel on ABN here this Sunday evening. Should be a wonderful time here tonight. Going to be chaotic. That's part of the deal here at Martinsville Speedway. Last leg of this very trying gauntlet in the chase for the Winstel Cup coming up here. 4 races to go. Martinsville tonight, and then it gets a little bit more fun. Texas next week, Phoenix and Atlanta to end out the season. If you're a chase driver, this is a chance to either grit out your teeth and get a good result or try to make up some points from the first half of the chase. Qualifying is underway, single car qualifying, so everyone taking to the track at the same time. Before we get to that, though, we'll walk you through the points as they currently run. Jacob Potak leads by 54 points. He has been the favorite all season long so far, not looking to be any different here tonight. We'll see how that pans out here. Christian Budd in second, Dylan Roberts in third, ahead of Emily Howe and company. Gabriel Mauricio, Sean Pellig, Jeremy Davis, and everybody looking to be a little bit more of a threat here tonight. If you're someone like Davis, McKissick, Doucette, you're going to need to be Tyler Head out for the season. Not running the rest of the races here. Means that there's 9 cars battling for a championship realistically here. Just a couple races left to run. And as we mentioned, that qualifying coming up right now, taking place. Ticker top of your screen, Josh Chen currently running top of the board as things stand. 24 drivers have set lap time so far. Alex Bates next up on the line. Chase drivers all over the place. Doucette in second, Roberts, Potak, Howe, Budd, Davis all in the top 10, second through 7th. Behind Josh Chen. Sean Pellig also top 10 at the moment, 10th place on the nose for the 48 camp. Two laps here, I do believe everyone gets. Have to double check. Nope, just the 1 lap. Alex Bates ran his 1 lap, and it was good enough for 12th. And it's going to be difficult to find drivers that are going to set times here. Christina Ryan waiting to run a lap, it looks like. She's the last of those that realistically run laps normally. Hayden Repas, Corey Steinhauser, Matt Skipper, Ken Huff, Kyle Benson, Andrew Griesbaum normally don't run laps here. So they usually like to start from the rear of the field because they know the chaos that is coming. We'll see if she does run a lap. Not a fan of the paperclip is Christina Ryan. Has, for a fun fact, never run a Winstel race at Martinsville. This is a first tonight for the 88 camp. She is running, but it's to the garage. So the 88 will not take part in qualifying here, as the 88 elects to go to the garage. She was the last one that could have run and elected not to. So she will start, realistically, I believe, 26th or 27th. We'll see how it sorts out because it's beyond those that run lap times. It's all random draw. You see a lot of yellow on the board. We'll pull that explanation up. If they're in yellow, they're in the chase. They're fighting for a championship here the next month. 8 of those drivers in your top 10. That'll end qualifying here, so we'll go ahead and go through the full qualifying results. Josh Chen on pole position by 7 milliseconds over Nick Doucette. Dylan Roberts, Jacob Potak in row number 2. Emily Howe, Christian Budd, row 3. Jeremy Davis, Mike Rasmus sit in row 4. And then it's Brandon Coppinger and Sean Pellig in row 5, rounding out your top 10. Tom Willett for Wood Brothers sitting in row 6 alongside Alex Bates, Austin Reedy, Jordan Barabee. They make up row 7. As we get closer and closer to race time here, row 8, Parker Alexander and Philip Snipes. Craig Lautenslager and Ryan Hill in row 9. Lucas Davila and Gabriel Mauricio, South American, row 10. The Brazilian alongside the Argentine in that row. Tyler Murray, Brendan McGee in row 11. Row 12, Chris Bishop and Corey Cook. Brandon Cruz, Christina Ryan in row 13. Christina Ryan did get up getting 26th outside row 13. Kyle Benson, her teammate, inside row 14 ahead of Andrew Griesbaum. Ken Huff and Matt Skipper make up row 15 on their own. 16 rows in this field. The last row made up of Corey Steinhauser and Hayden Repas for the field tonight. Scores of your sports around the world: soccer, football, baseball, hockey, and more on the bottom of your screen. Obviously, Cincinnati-based is ABN Studios, so we've got 2 playoff teams here. FC Cincinnati locking themselves into the playoffs last night, and the Reds locking themselves into the baseball playoffs today. Now, if only we can win a championship. Championships on the mind here in Winstel as well. Whether you're trying to win a championship or play spoiler to the champions. That is Josh Chen's objective. Win a race, prevent one of the championship contenders from doing so. This will be a chaotic event. 125 laps will feel like 300. Here at the Paperclip. Those not familiar with Martinsville, it is rough, it is tough. It is grueling, and it is physical. Pace car pulls into pit lane. It is Chen and Doucette, front of the field of this 32-car armada. The green flag flies, and away we go. Still side by side, front of the field. The gridlock begins immediately. Still side by side at the front of the field. Chen trying to drive off the corner better than Doucette. Did so there in turn 4 and gets clear in the turn 1. Good stuff there. Mid-pack still a bit of a hornet's nest, but single file in some spots as well. Mauricio trying to get around the 99 of Lautenschläger. With the Villa up next. There's Tyler Murray, the 07. And then the number 9 of Brennan McGee. Right now sitting 22nd outside the top 20 at the moment. Christina Ryan, we saw bail out of qualifying. Has already gained 2 spots from 26th to 24th. Right now, all a game of inches at the moment as things sit. All the way down to the 89 of Hayden Repus at the back of the field. Doucette in second, Potak in third, Dylan Roberts in fourth right now. The top 3 in the points are currently sitting third, fourth, and fifth right now. And the more that Potak finishes ahead of him, the more that points gap continues to grow. Keep tabs on that throughout the night. So far, everyone has minded their P's and Q's. Only one car has had an issue, and that is Matt Skipper on pit lane. Caution has come out right as we say that, and it is for a spun out Tyler Murray. Was in 21st, right where he started when the caution came out. Now down in 30th. What happened to the 07? This is a look at it, and it looks like he is a little deep on the brakes here. Did he get help from McGee? See if we can grab a better view of it. Try our handy-dandy chopper cam from high above. There we go. Looks like he's trying to move to the inside of Philip Snipes, the 97 there. Keep it on that red card, just behind that banner. Does he get help? No. No contact from McGee. Just too deep on the brakes. Flips the curbing. And around he goes. For the first yellow of the night. Luckily, nobody else made contact with him, so he's good. But it does pull everyone close together once again. It will be a single file restart per Winstel rules. So we're not going to have nearly as much of a chance of calamity as what we saw on the first go-around. Josh Chen leads the way over Nick Doucette and Jacob Potak here. Right. People cheering on several drivers. You're cheering on Nick Doucette, you're cheering on Dylan Roberts, Christian Budd, Emily Howe, all of them in the top 6. Take a chance to go over the sports scores. Start with the NFL tonight while we're under caution. A lot has happened today in the NFL. This morning, the game in Dublin ended up Vikings and Steelers. Steelers win 24-21. Giants beat the Chargers 21-18. Eagles beat the Buccaneers 31-25. Several close games here. Falcons beat the Commanders 34-27. The Bills beat the Saints 31-19. The Lions beat the brakes off the Browns 34-10. Texans shut out the Titans 26-0. That was all earlier this afternoon. We'll cover the evening games in a moment. Get ready to go green with Josh Chen and Nick Doucette leading the way. Green flag flies and away we go. 31 cars all in the lead lap as we go racing. And already chaos further behind as everyone tries to make up spots early. 21 of Willett shuffled out hard as everyone tries to scramble. Trouble further back for a moment. The 89, the 55. No yellow, but they were both tangled up in something. Cars in bunches right now. That's Emily Howe and Mike Rasmus, the 15 and the 00, side by side, as are two chasers, Jeremy Davis, the 4, Peleg, the 20, and the 48. Battle for 6th, battle for 8th. Whoa, a little bit of trouble there. That is Davis trying to over-under. Flattabout going 3 wide there with Rasmus and Hal. Not the case. And Hal shuts the door on Rasmus. Into turn 3 there. A little bit elbows out in the top 10. Car in the fence, that's 89 of Rapus. Who is staying up there and staying out of the way of the leaders. Oh, a little bit of contact there, and Davis is going to get spun by Brandon Coppinger, and that's going to stack up the field. Caution is out for the second time as everyone tries to navigate the stopped cars. And Coppinger's going to try to spin that car around. He just lost his nose as a result. There's the nose left in turn 4. Second caution of the night. We told you it was going to be a little bit physical. And this is what happened here. Jeremy Davis tried sending it on Mike Rasmus there. Yeah, he tried diving it in. And Rasmus didn't respect it, didn't have to. Forced Davis to cut it tight. Coppinger nowhere to go, not expecting the 4 to check up like that. And they both go around, stuck, facing the wrong direction. Coppinger down pit lane, live pictures now. Brandon Cruz also down pit lane. A lot of your leaders, though, will stay out here. Rasmus coming down pit lane as a precaution because he did have contact with the 4 before that spin. Tied by NFL scores in the first caution. Running up the bottom of your screen in the second caution here. Where we left off, Patriots beat the Panthers 42-13. That was a pretty ugly game in Carolina. The Jacksonville Jaguars went to San Francisco and won 26-21. As we were ready to go back racing. Second restart of the night. The Rams beat the Colts 27-20. Very close game there in LA. And most recently, the last score that came in was the Ravens losing to the Chiefs 37-20. As be ready to go back racing. Green flag flies once again, and they scramble once again. A lot of cars scrambling around, trying to make some moves happen. Teammates there, Robert Yates Racing, the 38 and the 88. Cal Benson, Christina Ryan, both of them on the charge. Benson up 11 spots, Ryan up 9. Everyone trying to make some inroads here. Jordan Bearby watching the battle between Emily Howe and Sean Pellig there for 6th. Wants to be a part of it. His teammate, Alex Bates, right behind him. Both of them in the top 10. As is Lucas Davila, trying to stay that way ahead of Austin Reedy and Ryan Hill. Matt Skipper, his technical issue has been resolved. He is back on the racetrack, albeit 20 laps down as things currently sit. But he is on the racetrack, and he came out in clean space, so he gets to find his groove on his own. Race leader Josh Chen has a half-second lead over Potak at the moment. These two have battled several times this season. It has only been the 22 of Potak that has been the victor in those exchanges. See how that plays out this evening. 31 cars circulating means that there's a little bit more space before you get to lap traffic. Typically you see 40 to 42 cars here at Martinsville, and you run out of real estate quickly in those circumstances. So nice reprieve having a little bit more room to stretch your legs and figure it out. Some side-by-side action going on further back here. That is the 78 of Cook, 97 of Snipes, 21 of Willett, and the 00 of Rasmus. Side by side right now, 2 by 2. Rasmus had to send it a little bit deep, and Tom Willett in that 21 car let him have it. Remember, Rasmus was battling in the top 10 before that contact with Jeremy Davis on that last caution. Now trying to really kind of shave his way through the field. He's up to 19th now in the 00 machine. Patience is a virtue that many lose quickly here in Martinsville. We'll see what he can do. He's not in nearly as bad of a situation as Coppinger and Davis, 26th and 27th for them, as things currently stand. Little squiggly at a turn 2 was the 21 of Willett. Christina Ryan beginning to slide backwards in the 88 car, was in 17th, now down to 19th, having fallen behind Rasmus and Snipes. While Christina struggles to stay afloat, Kyle Benson working right now on getting around Parker Alexander. So while one Yates racing car goes backwards, the other moving forwards right now. Austin Reedy up ahead as well. Going to be a bit of an issue Commentator making that outside lane work as trouble. That is Ryan Hill letting Gabriel Mauricio get around. It looks like he got loose there and wheel spun out of turn 4. I don't think he had much of a choice in giving that spot up to the 5. Both Davila and Mauricio started row 10, 19th and 20th, and they are now up. Davila in 10th, Mauricio in 11th. Kyle Benson, right now a menace. He is driven around Austin Reedy and Parker Alexander, and that is sketchy. And I think Kyle Benson realized how sketchy that was. A little bit of latency at the worst possible time. He is trying to give up and get out of the way because he feels like that is a longer term issue right now. He will slot in behind the 21 of Tom Willett. And that is unfortunate, but that was nearly a huge crash with Austin Reedy and Parker Alexander that was avoided very well. You don't typically get away with those. All three did that time around. Two cautions early on here in Martinsville. It's been 20 laps since. Everyone finding their groove and their momentum. A couple close battles here right now, side by side, Peleg and Emily Howe. Howe will get ahead of the 48 out of turn 4. Moves Emily Howe up to 6th. Sean Peleg down in 7th place now ahead of Jordan Barabee. As Davila makes his move around Alex Bates. Trying to move up into the 9th place. Trying to get around that silver bullet for Chip Ganassi Racing. Bates not giving it up without the fight. But Davila is going to be clear. And now Bates' fight is going to be with Mauricio, that 5 car for Hendrick Motorsports. As both of your row 10 starters are now in the top 10. Little loose there. Barabee up ahead. Tires beginning to wear just a little bit here in Martinsville. Cars battling side by side. Austin Reedy and Alex Bates further back there. Outside the top 10 for 13th is where they're at now. And caution has come out, and for the second time, it's for Tyler Murray. And this one a little bit more serious. Damage on that 07 machine. What happened here with Tyler Murray? Little wheel spin. That's going into turn 3 now, and he overcooks it massively. Never had a chance of making the corner. Gets tagged by, I believe, That's the 12 of Chris Bishop. It's not a great day for Tyler Murray. The field will take the opportunity to come down pit lane here. A couple cars staying out. Philip Snipes and Jeremy Davis staying out. Bold call, but I get it. And in a very awkward twist, Jacob Potak faster on pit lane than Josh Chen gets ahead of the 93 on pit stops. And Josh Chen is not going to be enthused about that. As we mentioned earlier, these two have fought quite a few times here this season. It has been the 22 that has oftentimes been the better of the two when it came to the end of the race. This is another pole position for Josh Chen that has resulted in him battling the 22 and at least coming closer to the halfway point. He's currently sitting behind your championship leader. Snipes come down pit lane. Jeremy Davis stays out. Davis pit on lap 19. So he's going to have a 30-plus lap disadvantage on tires here. Davis knows the same thing we know. And is that track position is key here in Virginia at the Paperclip. It is critical at Richmond. It is critical here at Martinsville. And he will lead the field to green ahead of Potak, Chen, Roberts, and Bud, your top five. Third restart of the night coming up. Green flag flies, and away we go. Keeping an eye further back, this is a big hornet's nest of cars. As the 48 of Peleg, he has moved up to 6th place, getting clear of the 15. Outside lane prevails early on this restart. Worked like a charm there. And not surprisingly, Potak spent very little time getting around Jeremy Davis. Josh Chen has now done the same. And that 30-lap disadvantage, we talked about it being important. This is why pressure tires, even 30 laps, here at a half-mile racetrack is critical. Power down, so important. Pressure tires give you more control over putting the power down. And Davis will sink like a bit of a stone. He's already off the podium. And he will be soon shuffled out of the top five altogether. That's Christian Budd. There's Peleg and the 48 trying to move into the top five, and will. And they'll leave Jeremy Davis behind. .31 cars still circulating on the racetrack. Tyler Murray on pit lane, the only car not out on the track at the moment. 28 on the lead lap. Ken Huff, the 10 car, a lap down. As Potak leads the way. Fans watching around the world cheering for the 55 of Steinhauser on the lead lap. Last car on the lead lap at the moment in 28th. Still on the lead lap here on lap 60. Hoping for a little more chaos. This was a race that resulted in a lot of retirements, a lot of crashes last season. 3 cautions, and they've been relatively small ones so far as we hit the halfway point here in 2 laps. Teammates battling side by side, the 38 and the 88. Working against each other, 16th place on the line there, as they both try to find a way around the 40 Alex Bates. Benson gets to the outside of the 40. Sienna thought about sitting at 3 wide there, thought better of it. Instead, we'll try to follow her teammate around. Bates shuts the door. But Christina Ryan knows she can drive around him. Saw a puff of smoke there in turn 3 and 4 last time around. Not sure that was a lockup or what happened there. No caution, so we're still good on that front. Not seeing any tire marks. Let's keep an eye on that to see if anything changes. Biggest mover so far, 3-way tie between Lucas Davila, Gabriel Mauricio, and Kyle Benson, all three up 12 spots so far from where they started this race. Kyle Benson from 27th to 15th. Lucas Davila from 19th. And trouble that is potentially retirement worthy for Benson. There he is. Scary stuff. Second time that's happened with Benson. This time in front of his teammate that he'll let go. That'll move Christina up to 15th place. She's up 11 spots from where she started. As I mentioned before, the biggest movers now, it is the row 10 starters, up 12 spots apiece. Davila from 19th to 7th. Mauricio from 20th to 8th. And they are shadowing each other and getting around lap traffic. That's the 89 Rapus going another lap down. Jacob Potak has walked away from Josh Chen. 1.8 seconds is the gap. He got that clean air and he said goodbye. Car in front of him, trying to stay on the lead lap right now, is Philip Snipes. Corey Steinhauser already a lap down and trying to stay out of the way for the leaders as they circulate. And he's going to run out wide to get some more of those leaders through. He just wants to get into a space where he can just get back into a rhythm. So hard to do as a lap car, sitting and waiting. Philip Snipes running it now 27th. Potak not far behind. Potak, his pace is slowed. Now he's gotten into the dirty air from Snipes. It's allowed Chin to close in now once again within a second. Close back in on the 22 here as we approach 52 laps to go here in Martinsville. 3 cautions, no retirements officially. Tyler Murray, a technical retirement. He has been on pit lane for the last 10 minutes since his second spin of the night. Everyone else still running. Battles a little bit further down the order, side by side. Ryan and Davis, Doucette and Reedy, all side by side here. Ryan trying to stay in that 15th spot, and will do so. Gets clear of Davis, whose bad day continues to get a little bit worse. Caution has come out. I'm not sure who it was for. A couple people indicating it might have been for Davila. I'm not sure that's the case. He's still top 10. He did give up a spot to Mauricio, though. We'll see how that plays out. They'll both get back around the 15 here as everyone tries organizing themselves. And they come down pit lane. So let's take a look here. We believe it happened in the top 10. And there's a little bit of contact. That's how we get introduced to this fourth caution of the night. Is it with the two South American drivers? It is. A little bit of tango there for Davila, who gets it corrected immediately. So that's what we saw the tail end of. Mauricio tagged Davila, spun him around, and then corrected course for the 34. Pretty self-explanatory there. And it looks like not a lot of loss there on the position game, at least for Davila. Into pit lane in 9th, left pit lane in 9th. Looks like Mauricio has a little bit more work to do. It took about 30 seconds to repair the nose of that number 5 machine. He comes out in 25th place. So he loses a pretty hefty chunk of positions there because he was also top 10. They were both 8th and 9th when that caution took place. Two tire stops for Dylan Roberts, Christian Budd, and Sean Peleg. Put them at the front of the field. Potak stays ahead of Josh Chen on this set of pit stops. Less than 50 laps to go for those joining us. A couple of games going on right now nationwide. It is the Green Bay Packers taking on the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas for Sunday Night Football. Sunday Night MLS, it is Orlando City taking on FC Cincinnati. Cincinnati clinching last week into the MLS playoffs for the 3rd consecutive season. And in the chase for the Supporters' Shield. Both games just kicked off here in the last half hour. Green flag flies with Roberts in control. Two Roush cars leading the way. And Ammonium further back. Austin Reedy once again getting skunked on the restart. Austin Reedy just very timid, trying to avoid getting run over. A little PTSD from last season's race here at Martinsville, which is fair. We've only had 4 cautions tonight, averaging a caution every 20 laps, which isn't great, but it's better than the pros. Better what the pros do here at Martinsville, so we'll take it. Christian Budd under a lot of pressure from Sean Peleg, looking for a 3rd win this season. 2 race wins for the first time in his Winstel career. Two wins in the same season. And the 2 tires currently working out, frustrating the 22 of Potak and the 93 of Josh Chen. Question, how long can they hold off the 22 and the 93? Christian Budd on the wrong end of things. Just trying not to let Peleg get clear. And unfortunately, I don't think he's got much of a say in that conversation anymore. He's doing enough to keep his nose right to the quarter panel of that 48 car. The more that they battle, the further away Dylan Roberts gets. Caution has come out, and it is for Mike Rasmus. And that is a huge crash. Several cars involved. Rasmus involved. Alex Bates, Christina Ryan, Tom Willett, all involved in the 5th caution tonight. Rasmus missing a bumper. Fifth caution of the night out. Multi-car crash out of turn 2. Told you drivers are going to start getting a little bit greedy, a little impatient, a little bit physical. And that's exactly what we saw. And this is where it looks like it kind of stems. It looks like it might stem a little bit further ahead. No, this is where it starts with Rasmus and Tom Willett and Austin Reedy also in this conversation. Maybe in slow motion, quarter speed. Does Willett spin on his own? No, it actually starts ahead of Willett. It is with Benson and Ryan Hill. Ryan Hill spins himself off the back of Benson. Nowhere for them to go. Hard hit there. Sends Ryan Hill up and over. And I don't actually think Christina Ryan or Alex Bates got a piece of it. I think they slowed up, avoiding running into a flying Ryan Hill. I think both of them are okay. Live pictures as Rasmus comes down pit lane a second time to check for damage. This time for damage he 100% has on the nose of that 00. Looking at the 88 and the 40, I don't see any damage there. I'll have to double check. No damage on the fender there for Christina Ryan. I'm sitting in 19th place. We'll double check here. We'll look at the left side as well. No damage there for Christina Ryan. And then Alex Bates up ahead. We do have custom cams for the Chevrolet. Didn't get them for the Ford. We did get them for the Chevrolet. But no damage there for Alex Bates either. So we saw no damage for the 40 or the 88. They avoided all of that by coming to a complete stop. Lap cars inside lane, leaders on the outside lane. As we get ready for this next restart, green flag flies and away we go. And that gives the leaders nowhere to go with those lap cars on the inside line this time. First restart with lap cars on that inside lane. Approaching 30 laps to go. And Benson goes around. Trouble, Kyle Benson. I believe it is Benson and Corey Cook together, it is. Benson's going to be stuck a lap down as a result. Benson had been doing so good up to this point. Gets helped around by the 78 of Cook. And we're going to see this in slow-mo. Outside lane, Cook tries sending it. And so does Steinhauser. Not Steinhauser. The 99, that is Laudenslager. And Cook can't keep it down enough, and Benson comes around as a result of it. And as a result, they both end up pinned together against the safer barrier. And that's part of the reason why Ryan Hill finishes Benson off and sends him right back over. Sixth caution of the night gets us within 30 laps to go here in Martinsville. Some work to being done here on Benson's car, puts him a lap down. Dylan Roberts leads the way. Sean Pellig in second. Christian Budd in third. Josh Chen, Jacob Potak swap positions on that restart. So Chen ahead of the 22. Unfortunately, behind the top three. Top three have strategized themselves ahead. Ready to go racing once again here in Martinsville. Roberts, Pellig, Budd, Chin, Potak, top five, green flag. No cars on the inside lane that time. Free reign for Josh Chen to get around Christian Budd. The Jaws music is playing for the 93, trying to get back to the front. Remember, 3 cars on their last pit stops on lap 77 took 2 tires. Roberts, Pellig, and Budd. Two of them are top 2 at the moment. Christian Budd trying to stay top 5 here. .27 laps to go. Caution is out again. Austin Reedy and Philip Snipes wearing a brunt of the damage. And this is why into turns 3 and 4. What happens here? Looks like this starts up ahead with Austin Reedy. Yep, helped with Brennan McGee. Let's take a better look at that. This is already happening into turn number 3. Does Reedy try sitting it in on McGee? Or is McGee sitting it in on Reedy? They're side by side already. Well, they're well into 3. Yeah, Reedy tries turning down on the 9. And the 9 can't really go anywhere. And it sends the 77 for a little bit of a ride. And how's Philip Snipes get a piece of it? Right here. That'll do it. Does not take much. So Roberts and Pellig stay ahead of Josh Chen and Jacob Potak in top 4. Christian Budd 5th. Davila in 6th. Then it's Barabee, Howe, McGee, and Bates for top 10. That is where Austin Reedy just breaked out of. He was in the top 10, battling for 9th when that took place. We'll be going green with 21 laps to go here in Martinsville. 7 cautions tonight so far. And I have a feeling we're going to get a couple more before this one's done. Roberts in control. Sean Peleg in second. Josh Chin in third. Here we go. Kotak was ready, trying to attack that 93. Josh Chin has his mirrors full. Less than 20 to go. Look at Dylan Roberts, his season so far. Considered a down season for him. Only one win. 9 top 5s, 16 top 10s, though. Consistency has been a pretty big key for the 6 car. Looking for his second win of the season. Sean Peleg looking for his third as they battle behind him. Really good battle there between Kotak and Chen, and it's going to be Kotak that gets ahead of the 93. A little bit of the wobbles there for Josh Chen. Down the back straightaway gives Kotak third place. 5 wins. He's looking for race win number 6 and a firm hand on the Winstel Cup trophy. 5 wins, 12 top 5s, 13 top 10s. He's been electric. Josh Chen, second pole came today. He has 1 win. He'd love another. He'd love to not look at the back of that 22 car again. That's where he's sitting right now in 4th place. Christian Budd, 3 wins on the season for him. 21 starts, 7 top 5s, 11 top 10s for him. Lucas Davila has been a little bit of a hot streak, 3 top 10s, 2 of them in the last 2 races. He's been pretty electric late on in this season. Looking for another top 10 here. He's in 6th right now. You see the battle for second place heating up. Kotak drives out really wide. Peleg holds on to second place, and the door opens up for Josh Chen for third. And they'll battle it out again. Car spun on its own. Further back in the running order, Ryan Hill, I do believe, was the spinner. He is rolling once again. 26, last car on lead lap. In fact, I believe we see, there he is, ahead of Dylan Roberts. So now a lap down is the 7 of Ryan Hill. Ryan Hill trying to let the leaders go by here on the outside lane. The best that he can. Roberts leads the way by about 8/10 over Peleg. Peleg over Kotak. And then Chen and Budd holding on to the top 5 as it sits. Makes Lucas Davila's job really hard trying to get into this top 5. Knowing the quality of that top 5. He's actually under threat here from Jordan Barabee. Davila holding off Barabee, Howe, Mauricio, and Nick Doucette, your front row starter, in 10th. Roberts leads the way, coming to 8 laps to go here in Martinsville. Peleg under driving that car. Now he knows the tire disadvantage is real, and he's trying to hold off those with the fresher 4 tires the best that he can. He knows he needs to hold off the 22. 22 gets squirrely out of turn 4, and that helps the 48 a little bit. But he needs Josh Chen to fight him here. He needs Josh Chen to distract him. The more that Sean Pellick has to drive defensively, the harder it is, the slower he is in the process. Chen, there was a mistake that Potak just made that Chen couldn't take advantage of. See if it happens again here. Potak trying to put the power down a little too aggressively is how he had that little squirrely moment. We call them tank slappers when the rear of the car just pivots from side to side, just wiggles. And you're going to get that a lot here as the urgency picks up with 4 to go. Potak gets through. Pellick trying to hold off Josh Chen. Gets a little bit of wheel spin out of turn 4. Gives the opening to Josh Chen, but he's got to go the long way around. And I think he's going to do it. Nothing that Pellick can do. The two side tires were not going to work out long term. Taking right side tires only when you need the left rear to help keep power down. It just wasn't going to work out without a lot more cautions, and we just didn't have all the cautions they were expecting to try to get through this race. Coming to the white flag, 1 lap to go. Dylan Roberts doesn't need all that worry. He had everyone else battle behind him to cost themselves time. He will tiptoe around Martinsville Speedway for the last time. Give him his second race win of the season. Dylan Roberts out of turn 4 wins at the paperclip. He's got a grandfather clock now. Roberts wins at Martinsville. Potak finishes ahead of Chen. Sean Pellick holds on for another top 5. Christian Budd, Lucas Davila, another top 10 for him. Emily Howell, Jordan Barabee, Nick Doucette, and Gabriel Mauricio, your top 10. Dylan Roberts, your race winner, will celebrate on the front straightaway with a grandfather clock here in Martinsville. Burn it down in victory lane here. We'll hear from our podium finishers here in just a moment. Stone Roberts blows the engine up in the number 6 machine. Gives us our cue to go over the race results. We'll go over points after the interviews here. Dylan Roberts, Jacob Potak, Josh Chen, your podium finishers. We'll hear from all 3 of them in a moment. Sean Pellick, another top 5 here, 4th place for him. Ahead of Christian Budd. Lucas Davila, another top 10, his 4th of the season. Ahead of Emily Howell, Jordan Barabee, Nick Doucette, and Gabriel Mauricio. A good day for Hendrick all around. 3 of those cars in the top 5. In the top 10. Brendan McGee, Craig Lautenslager, 11th and 12th, ahead of Alex Bates, Jeremy Davis, Corey Cook, Christina Ryan from 26th to 16th, up 10 spots on the day. Kyle Benson, a day of what could have been for him, unfortunately, also up 10 spots, but could have been in the top 10 had this race gone better for the 38 camp. Brandon Cruz, 18th, Brandon Coppinger in 19th, Chris Bishop rounds out your top 20. Ahead at the 21 of Tom Willett, the 49 of Andrew Griesbaum, Ken Huff, Philip Snipes, Corey Steinhauser, Ryan Hill, 1 lap down. But at the finish, a lot of cars finishing multiple laps down here. Matt Skipper, Hayden Repas, all finishing their race here. Austin Reedy not taking the checkered flag here. Neither did Mike Rasmus. Neither did Parker Alexander or Tyler Murray here tonight. Retirements not as bad as it was last season. That being said, we do have some podium interviews to go through here. So let's talk to our top three. We'll start with our third place finisher, Josh Chen, here tonight. Josh, a wild race, but a race that was expected to be a little bit worse. Walk us through it, because obviously a little bit of everything took place tonight except for green flag pit stops.
Yeah, unfortunately, just burned off the tires a little too much that first run and let Jacob go. And then yellow came out right after. And the 2-tire versus 4-tire ultimately was the difference in one of us two winning and Dylan getting the win. So I can't complain about the race and how it went overall. I just wish I'd played the strategy a little bit different.
Obviously, it's been a case of so many close calls and being just a little bit outside the window here. Obviously, you've got a race win. Second pole position came today. Looked like a good chance to try to get that race win. You talk about the strategy call, 4 tires versus 2. What was the factor behind that decision? It looked like it could have been the right call. It seemed like putting the power down was the important factor there. What was the determining? Was that the determining factor as far as going for that strategy?
Just the way the tires were falling off. I kind of figured the left sides were a little bit more worn out than they were, and ultimately they weren't really that worn out. So that was a little bit of a miscalculation. I probably should have checked in practice to see how much they were wearing out, but I didn't really think that much about it with where we were at, and a solid 1-2 with me and Jacob. So I know that for the future now. I figured track position was going to be big here, but I didn't think it was going to be that huge. We didn't have enough gear to really have a run at the end of the straightaway if you got a run out of the corner. So you top out about 3/4 mark. So if you didn't get a run in the right place, you're just kind of going to stall out behind someone.
And obviously, this was the last super difficult race on the calendar. 3 races to go: Texas, Phoenix, and Atlanta. Going to give us a pretty thrilling finish of the season. Phoenix, a flat oval, could be a little bit more of the same, with strategy being a determining factor with how that race plays out. That being said, you've been part-time this season with 3 races to go. Is there a chance you join us for those last 3?
I think I should show up for at least one of those. I'd like to make Phoenix. I really enjoy the flat tracks in this car right now, so hopefully I can make that and try and get up in the points a little bit and lock in for next year. Should be able to make full time now.
Gonna be a lot of fun, especially with the news that we're running the 2007 throwback season next year here in Winstel. We hope to see you. If we don't see you except for outside of Phoenix, then hopefully good luck, and hopefully we get to talk to you again there as well. If we do get to see you at Texas next week, then even better. Beyond that, we'll let you celebrate the podium. If there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, Josh, the floor is yours. Congrats on another fantastic result here tonight.
Just a big shout out everyone here at Winstel for putting on the series. Thank you for putting on the broadcast, and everyone coming out and racing. I know the car isn't exactly where everyone wants it right now, but even with that, it's still pretty fun racing.
It's a lot of fun being up here in the booth, watching it down on the racetrack. Josh Chen, third place with another pole position here this season. We'll see him again at least 2 weeks from now in Phoenix. Josh, enjoy your podium, and we'll see you again very soon.
Thank you.
That was Josh Chen, our third place finisher here tonight. We'll move on to our second place finisher and our championship leader, Jacob Potak, who, like Josh Chen, made the 4-tire call to try to get some tire advantage here that ultimately didn't help get the race win. Helped get up to second place. Got around Kristen Budd, got around Sean Pellick there at the end. What was the difference there? How much more did you need to try to catch up to the 6 car?
Yeah, just needed probably better restarts, and really there was a moment where I think I really lost it, where it was lap 112, and I got to the outside of Sean, had position, felt like I was going to be able to make the pass within the end of the lap, and I think there was a self spin in the back of the field. Comms, they started shouting out spun around, and
Yeah,
I
Ryan
thought
Hill.
somebody was
Yeah.
going to hit. Yeah, and I thought somebody was going to hit the button right then, and I did a really stupid move of driving way too hard in the corner to like try and secure second for the restart, and then I slid up into the marbles, and that was definitely. I really feel like if I would have got around Dylan there, or got around Sean there, would have had a shot to go with Dylan, but once I regrouped, Dylan was just checked out, and a good win to him for sure.
For you, it's about points over results at this point. You have a firm grasp on the championship lead here with 3 races to go. Surviving the gauntlet with some flair on top of it here, getting second place. Never looked out of place at the front of the field tonight. 3 races to go: Texas, Phoenix, Atlanta to end out the season on the route to a potential championship. We've seen that 22 car look so good all season long. We talked about your stat line during the race and just how consistent this 22 car has been. Getting to those tracks where it's been feast or famine for some, this 22 car seemed to survive it all. Is there some excitement that this 22 car can try to make this an insurmountable gap to the rest of the group?
Yeah, definitely a lot of enthusiasm. I don't think it's going to get to a insurmountable gap point at all, just with how good Dylan and Christian run as well. But I mean, like tonight, if one of them gets first, if I'm in second, they're not gaining too much. So it just comes down to bearing any major wrecks or disasters, knowing that just got to be consistent. So I'm going to try and keep that up and definitely feeling the excitement.
Going to be a lot of fun seeing how these next 3 races unfold here throughout the rest of the season. As we mentioned before, your points gap does extend over most of the field. Dylan Roberts does close the gap within about 55 points, but still a pretty reasonable gap with 3 races to go. Before we let you go and let you get ready not only for Texas, but the week ahead as a whole, if there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congrats on yet another podium and a strong result here in Martinsville.
Thanks, appreciate it. I want to say shout out to Josh in third. He ran a great race, and I feel like he didn't fight me as hard as he needed to when I got by him for fourth to go after the leaders, and also having him in here. He's not in the running for the championship, but he was another position between me and Bud, so helped me on the points too. So it was fun racing with him, and good to see him back.
Absolutely. A fantastic job for the 93 car in third, as well as for Jacob Potak in the 22 car. Second place tonight here in Martinsville. He heads to Texas with a 55-point advantage over Dylan Roberts, trying to hold on to that for the 3 races. Jacob, congratulations on the podium, and we'll see you again next week.
Thanks, Carmen.
That was Jacob Potak, our second place finisher here tonight. We'll move on to the Canadian with now his second race win this season. Very important for Dylan Roberts to get a race win, and he gets it here at a track that was a demon for most of the series last season. Dylan, walk us through it. 2 tires was the right call for you. You're able to waltz away from the field when it mattered the most. Take us through that call.
Yeah, it was a good race out there. Really tough to drive, I felt. I was getting pretty loose on the exits there, and I just felt like I didn't have the pace for Potak or for Chin specifically, and I mean Nick as well. Shame he had that speeding penalty. But I needed to do something on the strategy. Track position was just so important. I wasn't going to be able to pass them on track. So, go for 2, hope they take 4, and a lot of people take 2, which they didn't. Those back-to-back cautions there really did help at the end. I don't know that I would have been able to hold them off had we gone green to the end. But I just had to try something. I mean, I'm not going to pass them on pace. Those guys were just too fast tonight. There's a lot of managing going on the first couple runs, but even with that, I mean, had I been going full bore, I'm not getting there. They're just faster. So pull a bit of a Hail Mary, got a bit lucky with some strategy, and somehow had the pace there at the end. It was feels good.
Obviously, this is a much-needed result for you to try to close in some points on the 22 with 3 races to go. It gets you within 60, gets you closer to 55 points with 3 races to go, and we know how good that 6 car is at the intermediates, 2 of which in the last 3 races, giving that 6 car a fighting chance. How important was this race win here at Martinsville as far as setting up a Cinderella effort here in these last 3 races?
Oh, it was huge. Absolutely necessary to have a good run tonight, and I think tonight was about the maximum that I could have possibly done. I don't know if I got most laps led, but I mean to win the race, it's hard to do better than that. I'm hoping that I can keep this pace going on the next couple races. Unfortunately, the competition's also quite good at the 1.5 mile intermediate
Yeah.
tracks. So just going to be hoping I can have some strategy go my way, have some luck go my way, and all I can do from my end is at least that I can control is show up with pace. So just try to keep doing that. And after Talladega last week and, coin flipping the wrong decision on the Gabe spin and just T-boning him like a moron, I mean, it put me a little bit on the back foot. So this is about the best recovery I could have got.
A fantastic job here for the 6th car tonight in Martinsville. We talk about the strategy call. It went right here tonight. Before we let you go and celebrate and get up to speed with everything coming up, if there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congrats on the race win, your 2nd of the season, and hopefully a couple more on the way.
Yeah, it'd be nice to double that up. Just want to say thanks to everybody who puts these races on like usual. I always have a blast here. It's good to kind of unwind, de-stress a bit, focus on the racing, ignore the real world, and just have a place where I'm gonna enjoy racing every single Sunday. That at least we're racing, and to have a field that's as competitive as it is, people that are showing up and care. It's a ton of fun. It's a ton of just grateful to have this. Grateful that that we're able to come here every Sunday, put on a show for the people watching, and have fun for ourselves.
A fantastic job for the 6th car crew tonight. Dylan Roberts victorious in Martinsville with that virtual grandfather clock. He'll try to do it again in No Limits, Texas next Sunday. Dylan, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And as we mentioned before, we will talk about the points here in just a moment. We just talked to our podium finishers here. Congratulations to all of them for the race involved tonight. Here's the points, and it's a little bit closer than we estimated there. 49 points the gap now between Potak and Roberts. Less than 50 is what is becoming a little bit more of a 2-horse race. Christian Budd, your defending champion, 74 points behind Jacob Potak. He finished 5th tonight, behind Sean Pellig. Emily Howell, Sean Pellig, top 5 in points. Sean getting ahead of Mauricio, who did not have the best race. Finished 10th, but you need to be a little bit more consistent there, and that's what Pellig has been giving here in the chase. Mauricio 6th. Davis now in a bit no man's land outside the race mark. If things don't get better, he could be eliminated as soon as Phoenix. He could be out of the running altogether. Nick Doucette, speeding penalty for him. Throws him behind the 8 ball. If he doesn't have a good run at next week at Texas, he is out of the running for the championship. McKissick and Tyler Head realistically are already out of that running for the championship here tonight. We look outside the top 10 in points here. Took me a second to click the right button. Jose Solis Jr. missed out tonight's race. Didn't matter. Has enough of a gap to stay ahead of Christina Ryan, who gains on the gap to Brennan McGee. Actually, no, Brennan McGee gained of Christina Ryan 11th to 16th there, but Christina Ryan also has a pretty decent padding there in 12th. McGee in 13th, Ryan Hill dropping down to 14th place. Kyle Benson staying steady in 15th. Evan Locke not present tonight either in 16th. Austin Reedy 17th. Philip Snipes 18th. Lucas Davila in 19th, gaining a spot once again on Jordan Barabee. Both of them finished top 10 tonight as well. Great job for them. And then you start looking at those that are trying to just stay top 35 in the points to try to lock in their position for next season. We talked about 2007 season. Next year, the throwback theme. Going to be a lot of fun. Tom Willett safely right now in that conversation. Kirk Marble did not race tonight either. Didn't need to. 22nd in points right now for him. Brandon Cruz, Alex Bates, Brandon Coppinger. They're all safe right now. So is Larry Pace, who has missed the last few races. Steve Brown, Parker Alexander, Craig Lautenslager, and Corey Cook, your top 30 right now. And then it gets interesting at that 35 cut line. Rasmus right now above it. Same with Ryan Andrew, who was not present tonight. Josh Chen makes it above the top 35 cut line. He was 37th going in. Tyler Murray loses a spot with his bad finish. Corey Steinhauser stays consistent at the 35th position. Andrew Ferrineres drops down a couple spots. Andrew Griesbaum moves closer to top 35. Chris Champeau drops a couple spots. Ryan Doucette drops a couple spots. Matt Skipper gains 1 spot. And you look at those that need to do well the next 3 races to try to lock themselves in to the top 35. Hernandez, Repas, Kroback. A lot of part-time drivers here. Ken Huff, Chris Bishop, Matt Sisler, not running anymore. Evan Melanson part-time. Thomas Lewandowski's not made several races here. Tyler King running part-time. You start looking at drivers that are going to have to qualify their way in to the Daytona 500 next season if things stay the way they are. We're glad you joined us here tonight for a race at Martinsville Speedway. We hope you join us again tomorrow night, 8:15 p.m. Eastern, right here on Twitch. HTL Cup Series action from California, from coast to coast. We go to Willow Springs for some road course racing in the Gen 7 Cup cars. That's tomorrow night. And then we'll stay West Coast Wednesday. ABN Champ Car action from Portland. We hope you join us. Until next time, on behalf of everyone here for Winstel and ABN, I'm Carmen Sienna. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow night in California. So long, everybody.